at Bods and Touchdowns. I'm Chad, and I'm here with Eric. Jake's not with us. Hopefully, he'll be joining us soon. Um, we got some fun night last night. Got to watch some football, some Bears football, that is. How's it going, Eric?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, what's your thoughts on last night?
It was cool. I mean, it was nice to actually see something other than baseball. So that was exciting for me. I mean, it kind of sucked that we didn't get to see the starters. At least get a series or two. But I
Right.
mean, looking further into that part, I guess the field wasn't very good. And a lot of people said that players would get hurt. So I think that's why they didn't make them start. But it
Yeah.
still would have been nice to see them dress up and everything. As far as the game, I mean, you got to see some players stand out, kind of like Colin Johnson, Austin Booker. There's a few good plays. You got to see how the new kickoff rules started. What did you think about those? It was kind of weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think that I like the idea. I think the idea is great. Um, they're 5 yards off. I actually had a conversation with a guy I work with today, and we both kind of agreed. Yeah, it's fun, but I think like 10 yards off, where you actually give the blockers a little more time to react, and you might get the returns you're looking for. Um, but 5 yards just doesn't seem like enough reaction time to do enough. That's just my opinion. I'm excited though to have that. I definitely found it more exciting than watching him kick the ball in the end zone to
We're
start the
just calling it
game.
fair catch.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
exactly.
I think it's going to take a little bit for them to get the whole running off the field for the holder and then not running off sides kind of deal. That's the biggest thing I think they're going to have to struggle with.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think what's interesting about that too, though, is you've got the target zone that you have to kick the ball into. If you kick it in the end zone, it goes to the 30. Uh, if you kick it to land before that target zone, it goes to the 40-yard line. So, I mean, definitely a big penalty for not kicking it into that zone itself. I think they're definitely creating it to be more of the game versus where it wasn't part of the game pretty much last year. What I think it was like 70 some percent of all kicks last year were all touchbacks.
yeah,
So,
yeah, it's something like that. I wish I could see if there was any like special team touchdowns as far as returns last year. I don't really remember seeing very like one or two maybe.
right,
Um,
right.
did you do you think it was weird that they didn't start Valus Jones? I was like, are they saying he has a spot automatically? I mean, I don't think he's done enough to be like, yeah, he's a starter. Put him in pen kind of deal.
I agree with you. And this, I would like to have seen him for the kickoff returns for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I think that if he has a spot on this team, considering the talent they have right now at wide receivers, that's going to be his spot. Returning the balls for from kicks. So yeah, I thought it was weird. I agree with you. I think it'd be nice to see what he could do, but we didn't get that opportunity last night.
right. And then another player that stood out that I said was Colin Johnson. I think he's gonna go on the up. He's big. He's 6'5", 220. I didn't
Yeah,
know he has some size. That's nice. And
yeah,
then
and showed he had some hands too.
yeah, exactly. He went up. He had the first, Moss catch of the year.
Right,
And then it just and then now Pettis is going to be on the downfall because he had that muff punt. So I don't know,
right.
or punt return. Um,
Yeah,
but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that, and then having Johnson over Herbert. That was interesting
yeah,
to see that too. You
yeah.
know,
Last night, as far as the running game, and I'm taking it for what it was. I realize second string, third string, maybe even fourth string, players out there, guys that are just trying to prove something. But we didn't have a running back that averaged under 4 yards a carry last night, which was pretty nice to see. Um, but Herbert was it? He had 4 carries for 35 yards. It's pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Um, and then you had Roshan Johnson had 6 carries for 24 yards, and then Felton had 3 carries for 14 yards. So overall, I mean, our line did a good job blocking for the run game. So I was pretty happy with all three of the backs. But as far as Johnson being there before Herbert, starting over Herbert, I, I I thought Johnson did pretty good last year. Herbert did too. So I don't know. I'm on the fence with either way of that.
Yeah, because I mean, the only thing that Johnson has is he can actually block. Out of all the running
Yeah.
backs, but I don't know what that means for Herbert if he's kind of on the fence or what the plan is there. It's just interesting to see. Did you see anybody else that you liked or that stood out to you?
Um. Actually, there was. We already talked about Colin Johnson. Sweeney had actually he caught the other touchdown pass. He had 3 catches for 47 yards,
Yeah, yeah, he looked
which
good.
which was pretty good. The other one was the rookie linebacker Carl's Jones Jr. Actually led the team for tackles. Yesterday, he had 4 solo tackles and then 4 assisted tackles. Um, Pretty good considering. I mean, it is the Hall of Fame game. I'm not over blowing it out of proportion, but
Right.
to step in and be your first game, wearing that Bears uniform and go out there and perform like that was pretty impressive. I thought.
No, for sure. It was nice to see. I mean, I think another thing I really wanted to see was Bajan get a little bit more than just 2 series. Just to see
Yeah,
him get a little bit more playing time. But I mean, I
he
liked
almost
what I
looked.
saw.
I thought he looked a little uncomfortable personally. Um, I know he on the one pass he didn't get any time at all. He just kind of threw it in the vicinity to avoid the sack. Um, what was he? 2 for 3 for 16 yards.
Yeah,
I mean, it, he doesn't have the strongest arm. I know they're reporting out of camp that his arm strength was better. Actually, I had heard that he was overthrowing guys a little bit, which showed that his arm strength's getting better. He's
yeah.
just got to use it better. Obviously, the coaching staff has you know confidence in what he's doing. So I agree. It'd been nice to see him for the whole quarter, but we didn't get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that next week we get to see at least a full few series with Caleb, and the starters just to get them, situated with the process,
Right.
because I'm sure just going in, because we seen what happens when the starters don't play, they
Yeah.
come out
Yeah.
dry on the first game, and
Flat.
then exactly, and it's just gonna be. I don't know.
Right.
I don't want to repeat the same thing. And then, what would that say about, Flus? Is he just going to stick to the same thing, or is he going to actually improve?
Right. Um, I was going to ask you, by the way, you brought up Bajent.
Yeah,
Um, you think after the Rippon's performance last night, was he 11 for 15, 166 yards, 3 touchdowns? I mean, some of those balls were nice. Granted, their wide receivers were wide open.
yeah,
Definitely blown coverages and,
yeah,
and stuff like that. Um, but still, he has to put the ball there um, and put it there pretty accurately. I think on a good portion of those balls. Um, you think that's something that the Bears are going to look at and say, hey, you know,
I wouldn't put. Um, I wouldn't say that Bacon is for sure the number two, but I mean, it's just like you said, it's like the third and fourth string people at that point,
Yeah.
and you don't. I don't know how much you can put into that. You know what I mean? He
Right.
looked good,
Right.
so we know he's better than them. But we'll see. Hopefully next week and the week after that, we'll see more.
Right.
That's the other good thing is we have four preseason games is just three. So we
Three.
get that
Right.
a little bit more tape, and I think it's going to be good for us in the development part to see what players are going to show up.
No, I agree with you completely. I mean, I just, I mean, we got to see
Comp-
more of Agent. Got
Competition is great. I mean,
right.
that's another thing I want to talk to you about is I don't remember the last time going through preseason and off season stuff where I've seen like reports of the Bears offense being good and then the defense being good, going back and
Right.
forth depending on the day. Usually it's
Right.
just the defense had a great day, offense is still trying to catch up. But
Right.
now
Right.
it's back and forth depending on whatever day. And that gets me excited, man, because I
Oh
don't
yeah.
remember the last time we had that.
No, absolutely. I agree. I mean it, and I know as a Bears fan, I mean, I remember going, okay, well, you know, the defense would get about a total of a minute and a half of rest on the game time rest on the sideline, then right back out, and I think we'll definitely have a offense that we don't have to worry about that with this time. That's for sure. So it it's a good feeling. I mean, I honestly think that one thing I will say, even though it was preseason, is you could feel the different vibe with the movement, with the plays, even though a lot of them were vanilla. But you could just see it. To me, it was a little different feel from what I watching in the last few years,
Yeah, I
even for
agree.
a
They
preseason.
they definitely switched it up. The only one thing I do hate is whenever they go like shotgun or pistol on third and one. Like, why are you backing up to go 1 yard? That's the one biggest pet peeve I have. I don't know why they do that. Nagy would do it all the time, and I would just be
Oh
it'd be so frustrating. It's like
yeah,
just all right, but that's sorry, just a little pet peeve of mine.
no, no,
Uh,
you're good. You're good. You're good.
but I mean, like other things, coming out of camp is with Caleb is Caleb saying, "Hey guys, we're leaving too much of a mess for the housekeeping." That's something that players are starting to see and respect that he's
Right.
looking out for everybody and trying to hold everybody accountable in the team, and it's really cool to see that he's trying to take over that club.
Yeah. You know, as things are starting to open up about Hard Knocks,
Yeah.
there's stuff obviously that's coming out and leaking out and stuff like that. Um, I thought one of the things that I heard about him and Keenan Allen actually roomed together um, while they're at their first camp together, and they were going over the playbook. And Keenan Allen said he's not one of them that he has to be doing it. He can't necessarily pick it up by just reading it.
Right.
So uh, one of the things Caleb Williams did as a leader while they were sitting there is he would call it the play, and Keenan Allen would draw it up, and then they would go from there. So that way he learned the playbook. To me, as a rookie, you're coming in, you're with a veteran, and you guys are working together like that, and I'm sure there's other stories out there with him working with other guys too. That to me is leadership. That's saying, hey, here I am. I'm the guy that's going to guide us, and I'm going to help you out. You know, and obviously it probably helped Caleb Williams out too.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, just to build camaraderie, and then actually other players coming out and being like, "Hey, that those reports from LA saying that he was Hollywood, that he wasn't a team player," and they're like, "No, that's completely false. This guy is a guy." You know what I mean? He's getting people's faces and standing up for what he thinks is right. And
Yeah,
I don't remember the last time we had that. Honestly, you know what I mean?
right, and
And
yeah, I mean,
go ahead. Yeah.
you're right. I agree completely. I that's not the guy they got. I remember Poles actually talking about, you know, when he first started looking at Caleb Williams, he's not sure he wanted to draft him. He knew that he made a lot of money on the nil. He knew what he had heard. He didn't know if it was true or not, but what he had heard about him being kind of a diva. So he self admitted that when he went out that way, he didn't know if that's the guy he was going to draft. And he said by the time he left there, he knew that was the guy that he wanted to draft because it wasn't the guy that he was made out to be, and he wasn't the diva.
No, for sure. I love to hear that. I love hearing all the other players stand up for him. It just shows
Yeah,
that they're coming together, and they're becoming a team. So they're doing something
right.
right.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, so we were talking about the Hall of Fame game, and it got cut short in the third quarter. I'll be honest with you. After they scored the third touchdown, my ass went to bed. uh, I get up too early in the morning, but yeah. And then I woke up and read my phone. And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't miss anything anyway.
Nope, me neither.
So that was all right. But one of the things that I got to see at the start of that game, they did introduce the inductees of this year's Hall of Fame. You had Dwight Freeney, played with the Colts. Unfortunately, they beat our Bears in the Super Bowl.
They
Uh,
did.
Randy Gradishar from the Broncos, um, part of the Orange Crush. Devin Hester, yeah, obviously a Bear. Steve McMichael, Mongo, definitely a Bear. Julius Peppers, which was a Bear, but started off with the Panthers, was drafted by the Panthers, and then ended his career with the Packers. I mean, the Packers. Uh, and Andre Johnson, outstanding wide receiver,
Oh
obviously
yeah,
deserves to
he
be
needed to
there.
go in there. Yeah,
Yeah, and then Patrick Willis, probably one of the top five linebackers ever play the game, in my
and he
opinion.
only played for like 9 years. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? That's
exactly.
the
Yeah,
crazy thing that he didn't play that long, and he
right.
was just unstoppable.
Yeah,
Like a
yeah,
kind of Luke Kuechly kind of vibe.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but it was cool to see that. I'll always have great memories of Devin Hester, Julius Peppers, Mongo. I didn't really get to see. I've seen highlights.
yeah.
Um,
He
it's
was a
cool to
beast
see
for a
that.
defensive tackle.
Yeah, I mean, he was honestly,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he always had that shirt tucked up and was just ready to go. I mean, good for him. I mean, I wish I could rock that neck thing that he had on, the neck brace thing or
Neck
whatever.
brace. Yeah, yeah.
um, but coming up, we got Hard Knocks starting August 6th, so we get to see that first episode. The preview for it was kind of funny. You had Caleb Williams introducing himself, and then saying, "Hey, I also made 25.5 million on my signing bonus," and everybody's like,
I did
"What?"
see that.
And then Bajan is like over there having a seizure because he's
Yeah,
never. Oh, I'm not gonna say never gonna see that kind of money, but not like not all at once. I wouldn't think, but
right.
I mean that's crazy for sure, and I'm excited to see the inside and out of the Bears.
No, I agree. I agree. Hey, by the way, um, Hard Knocks I will watch. Starts on my birthday. Just wanted to
Oh
say that
yeah, that's
again.
true.
My
That's true. I
my
forgot about that.
my 21 plus 30.
Yeah.
But uh, one thing that we do hold over the Packers, actually, we hold over the whole NFL, is with the inductees, by the way, this week. We have 39 players inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame as far as players and coaches. Um, and the Packers are actually second, but they're at 34, so they're a ways off. I know they got two guys for sure that will hit the Hall at some point in time, but that still only puts them at 36.
Yeah, I
So,
mean, we got. I mean, I think Peanut Tillman has to go in. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And then maybe even Lance Briggs. He had a great year. He was one of those linebackers that showed out for us.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
No, I agree with
those are
you.
two guys that I could see going in, and but
Greg
But that's
Olson.
two more for us.
Unfortunately,
If
he'll
you
go in
would have
as a
stayed with
Panther.
us, yeah. If you would have stayed with us, yeah.
Uh,
But I
he
don't
didn't
know
fit
about
our
that.
program. He was too
Right.
good.
I don't understand.
He was too good for our program. But yeah, that's crazy. Um, some NFL news. Uh, my understanding is Geno Smith is not going to miss any game time at all due to his injuries. Haven't still heard what the injuries were, but he will not miss any game time. Uh, then Justin Herbert has plantar fasciitis and is in a boot, but only in the boot for 2 weeks, and he'll be back to practice and will not be missing any game time either. He'll be ready for week 1.
Yeah, I mean, um, I think it's a good thing that Hopkins is going to be out, just because it gives us one less target for him to have. You
Oh,
know.
DeAndre Hopkins, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
um, it's just damn kid has to come bother me when I'm trying to do
No, you're good.
something.
You're good.
um,
No, I
but
didn't mention DeAndre Hopkins, but yeah,
you
he's
didn't. Oh,
he's
I thought you said
but he's out what 4 to 6 weeks.
4 weeks. Yeah, is what
Yeah,
I read.
yeah,
Um, when you're talking quarterbacks, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Herbert and I don't know about what they're gonna do in Seattle. That's a weird situation there with him.
Well,
I don't
they
know what you
they
guys
said that
think.
he's not going to miss any time,
Yeah,
but they haven't said what his injuries are either. So
I
I
think they're
think I
gonna keep
heard,
that locked up.
yeah. Well, I think there's like 2 injuries, and one they said was upper body and one was lower body or something like that. As what I think I had heard,
Was it the
but
hip? Was it a hip or what?
it I don't think they really specified. I'll be honest with you. Um, I, I'm not 100% sure,
Yeah.
but yeah, who
Um.
knows?
Yeah, and but talking injuries, sorry, but the
No, you're
Hopkins is
good.
going to be out, so that's going to be good for us for week 1. You know,
Yeah,
um, and then talking about receivers, DJ Moore getting that contract extension. That's another thing we're doing
nice.
good. We haven't. When have we ever done that? We're always too late instead of too early. You know what I mean?
Right,
And right
right.
now we're being early, and that's basically 6 years because he has 2 years and then the 4 year extension. 110 mil with 82.6 guaranteed. I mean, that's a solid contract, but it only places him like I want to say like bottom like middle tier, like 15 to 14 in the NFL. So I mean, it's still good money, but it's not like crazy
Right,
money like these other
right.
guys. So it's not going to hurt us too bad because I mean, um, we still got maybe Allen to sign, maybe a year or two, depending on how he
Yeah.
does.
Or how
And
good
then
Rome does.
exactly, we have Jenkins if he plays good, you know. So we got a couple other pieces that we're gonna have to sign, and
I
then
mean,
look,
realistically, I mean, to go back to that Jenkins deal, I know he asked, what was it, a week ago or something like that, again for another contract extension. One of the things they have to think about too is Braxton Jones. If he has a good year, I mean, they're gonna have to pay him too. So I mean, that's one of those. It's a good problem to have, but it's also a bad problem to have because
yeah,
yeah, you have Jones, you have Jenkins, and who knows what Nate Davis is doing. I mean,
that's
that
he's
story in
frustrating.
itself.
He's frustrating, yeah, for sure. And
And
I
then you
mean,
see,
it was nice to see Flus call him out,
yeah.
saying you have to be available, and
Now,
hopefully he
now
shows
with
up.
saying this though, in the same return, you see what Tristan Wirfs just signed,
Yep,
um, and
140 mil, 5 years.
right,
Solid
right's a
money.
solid right tackle. I mean, he had a
Hmm.
great rookie season. He's only going to get better. I mean, that's another thing we have to look at down the road. I mean, the affordability to pay these guys, Caleb Williams, I mean, we're going to enjoy these next 3 or 4 years, but that's the stuff that we have to look at in the future.
Well, that's what I'm
So
saying. And then
hopefully
people wanna.
that'll be like podcast number 110 for us or something.
Yeah, exactly. That would be great. I mean, you look at it that way. I mean, another thing is, people want to sign these edge rushers because we need an edge and all this, but it's like they're not cheap. Like Matthew Judon, he wants to get extended. He's not going to get traded somewhere and not be extended before he steps on the field. Or
Right.
Aiden Hutch or not Hutchinson. What's his name from the Bengals? I forget his name. It's not Aiden Hutch. That's Lions. Um, I forget his name now, but that guy, he wants to get extended. There's a few other guys that are kind of teetering,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I just don't know where people are trying to sign all these people. It's like we're not going to have money to do everything. We're going to have to
Right.
rely on the rookies and people we have in house.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not about just paying for talent. You have to develop talent too. Sometimes you have to let good talent go because you can't afford to pay all your talent. Like I said, it's a good thing to have.
100%.
But it's an unfortunate thing too, because then you have to say goodbye to certain people you don't want to.
Well,
But
the Giants are
Holes
going
is
through
smart.
that. Or not Giants. I mean, the 49ers are going through that
Yeah.
with the,
Yeah.
with their receiver. And did
Yeah.
Lamb get extended, right? Or no?
I have not heard, to be honest with
Yeah.
you.
So those two are the big ones that are still need extensions.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else out there on the NFL world that we may not have talked about?
Tariq Cohen retired.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
That sucks.
The injuries for his
He,
knees, too
he could,
much.
yeah. I mean, it's just.
I
I'm assuming he probably had like arthritis in the knee, and it just wasn't right. He couldn't do that fast twitch kind of style he had anymore.
Yeah. When I think of him, and I'll have to slide that clip in here somewhere. Um, but I always think about when he did that flip and caught both those balls while he's
Yeah.
flipping. I'm like, oh shit. I'm
Yeah.
like,
He
all
was a
right.
crazy athlete. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
one of the best plays I seen him do was, when he went left and then he turned right and then he went back left and then ran it all the way for a touchdown. I'm like, you don't see that people do that normally.
His ability to change directions on the dime
It's
was
that low
good.
center of gravity that he had was crazy.
Yeah. 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 It's very unfortunate, but the game's violent. And
That it is. That's why they get. You got lucky. You got paid all that money before you got hurt. Honestly,
yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Should we talk a little predictions? I know
Yeah.
we like to. We are currently on the NFC South, so
I'm right there with you.
all right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll pull up mine and I'll give you my predictions, and
Okay.
we'll see how close we are. I thought last week we were fairly decently close.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty similar.
Yeah. I got the Saints winning that division at 10-7. Their schedule is the fifth easiest schedule as far as in the NFL. Adding Fuaga at offensive tackle is going to give Carr some solid protection. They still have good receivers. You still got Kamara. So I think that overall their offense is going to be good. Their defense has always been at least, to me, they remind me of the Bears because their defense is always good. Not great, but good. But then I got the Falcons at 9-8. I don't know if you're aware of this. The Falcons have the easiest schedule in the NFL this year, as far as based off of last year's records.
Yeah.
The addition of Kirk Cousins is great. I just don't know if they focus. Well, obviously they picked a quarterback in the first round.
Yeah. Right.
But I just don't know if they built up enough around him to be any better than 9 and
Yeah.
8. I got the Bucks at 8 and 9. I I was going through their schedule, and their schedule is actually it's pretty stiff. You look at it,
They
um,
got just man.
but they got Barton at center now, which they drafted. You got Wirfs. You just signed a big ass contract, and he's a solid offensive tackle. Obviously, probably one of the best right tackles in the league at this point in time. And he's a alumni of Iowa, which is an outstanding deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but so yeah, I've got them at 8 and 9, and the Panthers. I don't want to beat up on them, but I got them at 3 and 11. I don't think they did enough to really.
You mean
They
3 and 14?
lost some people. Yeah, 3 and 14. Sorry.
You're good. You're good.
Um, I I just don't think they've done enough, and they let too many people go.
Yeah, I agree with you. They don't have any receivers. Their offensive line sucks. I don't know what they're gonna do.
Right.
I agree with you 100%. It's kind of similar. So I got the Falcons going 11-6.
Okay.
And then I got Tampa Bay going 9-8. I got the Saints going 8-9, and then the 3-14 for the Panthers. It was just hard for me to just because they have like all of them have a stretch where they have to play like the Cowboys, Philly, Kansas City, Green Bay. Like it's not. I don't like it is easy, but it's not easy at the same time. Because
Right.
we don't know how
Right.
Denver is gonna be, and then
Yeah.
I just gave them each 1-1. Besides the Panthers, but 1-1 because
Right.
they're all pretty similar as far as matchup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
I think so far out of the predictions we've done, this might have been the toughest one to do for
because
as far
they're
as
so
top to
similar,
bottom.
like they're not over the top. I mean, Tampa Bay has really good receivers and their defense is
Yeah.
solid,
Yep.
but there's question marks. Secondary and linebackers. I mean, they have and the Saints. Derek Carr's not always. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Right.
that guy, and then they're saying Spencer Rattler's going to be the next coming of Drew Brees, which I disagree.
Yeah.
I gave the Falcons a little bit more wins just because Cousins, finds ways to win. If
Yeah.
he stays healthy, he can win.
Yeah. No, unless
But
it's the big game
yeah, unless it's a
or
Monday
or
night
Monday
game or
night.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But I like I said, I mean, like I showed you earlier, I had to do tallies because I didn't. It was difficult this time for some reason. I don't know.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I agree. Um, well, it's a lot of NFL talk. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Um, now I don't know if last night's going to match up to tomorrow's UFC card. That
Oh, I
card,
know that card's
I mean,
nice.
like
That
you
card's
said,
nice.
like you texted myself and Jake, that's a good card. We got Sandhagen against Nurmagomedov. You've got Magomedov versus I'm not gonna butcher his name. I'm just saying Mickle.
Yeah,
Mitchell.
McClure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you got Marlon Vera against Davison Figueiredo.
Dude,
Tony Ferguson against Michael Chiesa.
that's a weird
Mackenzie.
matchup there too.
Yeah,
I was like, what is this? Like, what are we just throwing two old dudes that are in,
yeah. Well,
like
not just
losing
that,
streaks?
but this is my thing. When I was looking through this card, I'm like, all right, I got to pick my lock, and I got to pick what I think might be an upset. And I'm looking, and I'm like, Ferguson's a plus 400.
I'm putting money on that. Oh, okay. I'm not. I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Yeah, I like 100%.
And Michael Chisa is a minus 600.
That's what I'm saying. What do they know that I don't know right now? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, is Ferguson just did he not train? Is that what they're trying to tell us?
I don't know, dude. Because I was thinking the same thing. Because I was like, how is that a? I don't know. I was thinking the same thing because I saw that and I was like, it can't be. But I'm like, I'm just gonna take it because, I mean, it's there. You know what I
I,
mean? If
I,
Ferguson's, they're both
yeah.
on losing streaks to similar opponents. They have similar fighting styles. I mean, I just don't think I see
Well,
it that
Chisa
gonna
is a
fall apart.
ground guy, though. I mean, he'll try to take him down. I think he'll eat plenty of knees from
Ferguson.
Ferguson. I mean, yeah.
I just,
Excuse me.
I mean, like I said, they're both seasoned vets, but I mean, I don't. I mean, I like the booking, but it doesn't make sense at the same time because they're both like they should both almost be done because of how
Yeah.
they haven't won recently. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
Right. No,
uh,
absolutely.
it's just I saw that too, and I was like, "There's no way." They're just what do they know that I don't know? But I'm still gonna fall for it. I'm still gonna fall
Right.
for it.
Yeah. they're
Bye.
they're not telling us anything. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
That prelims card actually starts at 11 a.m. Central Time, so 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. And then the main card starts at 3 Eastern Standard Time, 2 o'clock Central Time, which we're in. Um, so I mean, it's even a nice early
Yeah,
fight.
I don't stay up till midnight watching the last fight.
Yeah, right. Which wow, I mean that last fight. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah,
But um, as far as this card though, it just I even the main event. I mean, they've got Sanhagen, a plus two, what 220, I think, or
two
two
forty.
seventy, or is it 240 on your end?
Let me double check.
I've got
I'll
two
pull up.
seventy showing on Aspen.
Yeah, I'll pull up the website that I won't say names because then I don't want to get in trouble. Let's see.
Yeah,
They
right.
got they got it Tony Ferguson at 450. They also got at 280. Sandhagen 280. So I mean that
Yeah, I
is
mean that's I mean
you gotta
Sanhagen's
sprinkle
got
that.
great hands. I
I
mean,
think they're going off Nurmagomedov. It's because he's undefeated. You know what I mean?
yeah,
I think that's the biggest thing that they're riding
yeah,
on. But I mean, just because you're undefeated, we just saw somebody get released that was undefeated. I mean, it's
yeah, right.
just
Yeah, but that dude acted up.
yeah,
That dude acted up. You can't go whooping somebody's ass when you're not in the octagon. You know what I mean? I guess
it's
unless
just
your name's Conor McGregor, then you can throw
well, yeah, he
dollies through
made money,
windows.
right?
Yeah.
Right, he made
So,
money.
um, so what's your locks and your upset for
So
this
I already
card?
said my upset. I got Tony Ferguson. It's just too much for me not to do that. And then my
Gotcha.
lock is the pirate.
Shara.
Magomedov, Shara
Yeah.
Magomedov.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just easy. Those are easy picks. I know. Don't judge me, but it's just there.
No.
You know what I mean?
No. I've got the same lock you do,
Yeah.
Margaret Magadoff. That to me is just until he shows he doesn't got it. I'll have to go with him nonstop. It's too bad he can't fight in the states.
Yeah, for sure.
I
He's still
actually
better friends.
I threw around Ferguson as my upset, and I'm like, man, kind of what we were just talking about. What do they know that I don't?
Right.
Um,
Right.
is there something coming out of the camps that they're not telling us that Vegas knows about? Which I'm sure happens. But I took Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera came off a tough loss last time
Really,
with
Marlon
Sugar.
Vera.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um, so I think he can beat Davison Figueredo. I like both fighters. I'm telling you right now, they're both freaking.
They're
They're
both
both
studs.
studs. Yeah. So I mean, that's just so that's my upset. And actually, I picked both of those on my parlay.
I shouldn't.
So
I need to. You're gonna make me second guess myself with Figure. Just, I just like him, but I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a
yeah,
very hard one to pick.
and both of them are really good. But I
Yeah,
just think I, when Marlon's on, Marlon's on. I mean, his hands
they're
are
clean
outstanding.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
I
a
mean,
tough one. But
I mean,
cards are gonna be fun. That's for sure.
yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited for this fights. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know much about this the prelim main event. Alonzo Menafield. I know him. He's a stud.
Yeah.
But I don't know
Yeah.
this other Russian dude. I don't know if it's like I don't know much about. Do you know anything about that guy? I don't even know. I don't want to say his
Um,
name because I'm
I
like
actually just switched off of that. I'll take a look. Um, Let me see if I can switch back to it. I'm not sure who's he fighting.
his name is Alzamat
Yeah.
Morzanukov. I don't know.
Yeah, I
He's
don't
Russian.
know.
He's
He's undefeated too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's no line on that one. So nobody else knows about him either. Right?
I mean,
Isn't that what you're gathering? That's what I'm gathering.
uh, Alonzo is the underdog.
Is he?
Yeah, he's plus
What's the
one eighty
line?
eight, plus one
Plus one.
88, and then the Russian guy is minus 225.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know. I the Russian guy must. Does it say is he a grappler? What does it say he
No, it
is?
just says he's 13-0. He wins
But
75% of the time by KO.
oh shit!
Uh,
So he throws his hands.
yeah, I mean, they have very similar significant strikes, defense, the grappling similar.
Really?
I mean, it should be a good fight, but I mean, Alonzo's coming off a loss. I don't know if that has something to do with it,
Could be. Could be.
but I'm excited. This should be great fights here.
Um. So, what'd you think of 304? What'd you think about Bilal's? Bilal, dude, what a! I mean, you could tell who he worked with for this fight.
Yeah,
There was no doubt in my mind that that helped him big time. I also
yeah.
thought Leon Edwards looked flat.
I was
I,
gonna say that the same thing. I don't know what happened. Uh,
I
I
don't
just
know.
thought it was really like I thought the funniest thing to me was Dana's face when
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Bilal won. I was like,
Yeah,
I mean, part of me was rooting for Bilal just because he's a Chicago guy,
yeah.
but I just thought it was the funniest thing. I'm like, Jesus, don't. Why don't you really tell us how you really feel? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then uh, Tom Aspinall just keeps calling out John Jones. He doesn't care. He's ready. He says he's ready.
You
Ta-
know,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I'll be honest with you. And if you TikTok with this one, I'm sure there'll be some nice comments. But early stoppage on that one. I really do feel that way. He did catch him with the left, but that right barely touched him. I mean, barely. Eh, I understand it doesn't take much at that point in time, but I also think that he was trying to come up a little bit. And I mean, his protest, it wasn't like he was fuzzy and having trouble standing up. I mean, he stood right up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, part of it is because maybe I mean Blades went to Northern as a wrestler.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe it's just my mind playing with me a little bit. But I just thought it was Aspinall probably would have won that one still. I think he definitely showed his hands were a lot better than Blades. And if Blades didn't take him down, it would have been history anyway. But I was just a little concerned with the early stoppage on that. What do you think about Patty? Patty the
I was gonna say
Batty.
that he looked clean. I mean, it's probably a good thing that he choked them out because I don't know how well he would have fared if they would have kept going. But he looked clean. He was very clean with the transition and that triangle at armbar. It was very clean. I
Put him
enjoyed
to
that.
sleep and broke his arm.
That's what I'm saying. I felt bad for the guy, but It's
King.
like you said, yeah, like you said, it's business. It's not personal.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, but yeah, I overall I thought the fights were good that night. A lot of decisions
yeah, that
on
he
that
was pissed.
card.
What'd you think
Yeah,
about Dana saying, "I'm never going to give them bigger bonuses"? It didn't
yeah,
change
right.
anything,
This,
and
this
he's not
proves
wrong.
why I should never do this again. Is what he said. I'm like, come
Yeah,
on, man,
yeah.
just
I
pay the
mean,
guys, pay them.
yeah,
So, um, the other fight that's happened since we've been on a little hiatus while you were moving and
yeah. I was moving.
Jake
Sorry.
Jake's been doing whatever. Uh, was that Mike Perry and Jake Paul boxing match? Thoughts on that one? I keep hearing all this screaming of rigged,
Uh,
rigged, rigged. I don't think so. I don't think you could pay Mike Perry enough money to have him rig getting knocked out.
I mean, Perry did what he was said. I mean, he does what he does. That's what he comes
Yeah,
forward, and I mean, Jake must have really heavy hands. Because
yeah,
he hit him, he knocked him more than once. I mean, you can't say that he didn't get hit. It was a lucky punch or anything. Like, I mean, Jake's a good
yeah.
athlete. Like I said,
No, yes, absolutely.
I didn't think he was gonna knock him out like that though.
Right. No, we had talked about it. Uh, Mike Perry's a tough son of a bitch. I mean,
Yeah,
he's and even Jake Paul said, during the fight, he's like, man, he's like, sometimes I didn't know how you were standing. It's because he's Mike fucking Perry. I mean,
yeah,
so
100%.
and then you got Conor McGregor tweeting out after the fight, don't worry, you can go fight in your whatever the new promotion that Mike Perry started. What's dirty boxing?
Oh,
Uh, he's like, because you're fired. Mike Perry's like, Mike Perry's like, he works for me. He can't fire me.
right.
It's like,
What
what
are we
the hell?
talking about?
Right.
All right,
So,
before we get ahead of ourselves here, here's a parlay I want it on record, right? Just because
all
we're
right.
having fun here. We
Yeah,
got
no problem.
Joel Alvarez win. We got Lupita Good Godanes,
Gordonis, yeah.
Godanes, and then we got and this guy's in the prelims. We got he's the first fight Damas versus Dennis. So Damas winning there. And
Okay.
then we got Alonzo Menafield. He's plus money, which I think is kind of crazy. Tony Ferguson, and then Corey Sunbarg, or how do you say it?
Corey Sandhagen.
Sandhagen. That's how you say it,
Yeah.
right? That's 6 picks, $10, right? $10, $2,000, $2,836.
Oh, shit. I'll be pulling for you.
I've seen crazier shit happen, so we'll see, right?
That's right. You never know. You never know with these cards. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Never at all. Um, I know we talked before about doing just three quick clips of local football. So just keep that in mind. You'll handle DeKalb because you're a graduate of DeKalb, Illinois.
yep.
Uh, Jake, if he ever joins us, can handle Sycamore because he's a graduate of Sycamore High School, Illinois. And I'm going to handle Rochelle because I have my daughter who's a senior and my stepson who's a sophomore goes there. We'll have a little bit of fun because I know Sycamore plays Rochelle. I don't think DeKalb does, but we'll see how it goes for them. That could
Yeah,
be fun
it
to
would
do.
be fun to see what happens there.
Yeah, yeah. I know they've got DeKalb, and I'll have to look. They've got uh, a Division One commit. I know that on their team this year. I just can't remember
Kelb
who it
does?
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I saw that too. I forget his name. I saw it on the paper, but I can't remember his name.
gotcha, gotcha.
Um, I think he's a receiver, but I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm almost positive that you're right on that one. So,
I
All
wish I
right.
wish I knew like all the kids that I used to, um, like coach or watch play. Graduated by now. It makes me feel a little old. I'll be honest with you. you know, like watching the kids you used to watch in club and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
They're in college wrestling now or playing football. It's crazy.
yeah. Speaking of, real quick, before we close things out here, we do have some Olympic wrestling going
Yeah.
on, and I
Oh,
want to say,
good thing you brought that up. That's
yeah,
great. Yeah, there's really good. There's really one with Lee. That was really good to see him wrestle, and then
yeah.
the
Um,
heavyweight. What's his name? Those are the two matches that I watched.
Paris,
But yeah, Paris.
Paris,
Yeah,
yeah,
he looks buff. Yeah,
yeah.
good for you.
That starts on the 5th.
Or
Um,
is this something else that I'm thinking of? The
this,
worlds.
yeah, you're probably thinking of the Olympic trials when they were
No,
going
it
on.
was it was like the worlds. I can't remember.
Oh, okay, yeah, because the first session is starts August 5th at 8 a.m. You'll have Greco prelims and quarters. Then you'll have women's freestyle prelims and quarters. Um, let's see. Then you got it'll start then, and then the last day of it will be August 11th, and that'll be men's freestyle, women's freestyle, uh, then the medal matches for the women's and men's freestyle. So that's the 11th, and that'll be the last day of it. That actually starts at 4 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. on those days. But some some exciting parts about the Olympics besides women's volleyball, sand volleyball. So and gymnastics. Can't forget about Simone Biles.
Yeah, she looked great. I mean,
Yeah,
the husband's gonna be happy
yeah,
representing. Should have
yeah,
been wearing some what was it? Some Bears gear when he was out there.
yeah. Right. Well, she should have been wearing like a Bears, you know,
Like a
something.
pendant or something.
Yeah, right.
Repping.
Yeah, she'll be flipping around, land on it. That'd feel real good. So,
I mean,
uh,
they do all that. Just it's crazy how athletic they are, man. It's crazy to see
yeah,
how
yeah,
they do all that.
absolutely.
Watching these people run faster than I can ever think. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I think there was somebody that broke one of the world records for swimming too. I've seen
Yeah,
that, and then
yeah.
the men.
There's this guy going viral because he was like 51-year-old from Turkey, that was doing the pistol shooting, and how he didn't wear any of the fancy goggles or anything. He just had his hand in his pocket and placed silver. I mean, that's pretty cool. Just getting to see that kind of stuff is fun.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I mean, it's definitely different. I've actually watched the men's basketball team play so far both games. That's been fun. I actually enjoy the international play of basketball versus the NBA. I think they have to play a little defense. It's kind of nice. Um, there aren't so many calls, so many whistles during the game. So I've actually enjoyed that.
Yeah, okay. I didn't even know about this. I didn't know that there was 3-on-3 basketball. I didn't know about that.
In the Olympics, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean the only reason I know is because uh, you look at sports and on certain like on sites and stuff, and then it pops up. They're like 3-on-3 basketball on the Olympics, and I'm like, what? And then I put it on Hulu, and then there it is, literally 3-on-3. It's literally first person to 21, they win.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, I just
That's pretty cool. Well,
yeah.
you got that. You got table tennis, which actually at our work they put a ping pong table in our break room, which is
Oh,
kind
that's
of
nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, kind
Uh,
of. I take naps during lunch, so I get to
oh,
hear the
okay.
ball go back and forth, back and
Oh,
forth,
that would
back and
piss me
forth.
off. Yeah, you're right.
But no, that's the only thing I got to complain about. I guess I'm okay. listen to the ping pong ball.
They go back and forth. People actually play ping pong.
Yeah, yep, yep. So
That's funny.
it's our interns usually playing it. So, but
I try to play ping pong. It's harder than it looks,
oh
honestly.
yeah, definitely. I agree. I agree. Um, any baseball related news before we start to end this thing?
I mean, the
Well, except
Cubs.
for both teams suck.
I mean, the Cubs are coming. They're doing better. They're on the 3 game win streak here. Ever since we traded a couple people, we
Yeah,
kind of went half in, which I don't understand why we do that. We either go fully in or you go fully out. No, they're like, we'll just trade a couple things. Get a better third baseman and a reliever here, but
yeah.
you
Sox had
know,
a fire sale. They got rid of everybody.
well, yeah, you had to.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
well yeah. We're garbage. We're
I
already set the record for.
I was thinking, who's that 25-year-old pitcher that you guys had? Did you guys end up trading him?
We're
I
Quebec.
heard
Or yeah, he went.
you did trade him.
Yeah, we traded. I mean, everybody was gone,
Yeah.
legit. Um, but
I wouldn't have minded the Cubs trading for him. He's solid. He's only 25. He probably needs a lot of money though.
well, eventually it will. But I mean, it's yeah. I just get sad thinking about baseball.
I
So
mean, I lived through it for 100 years. So I think it's only
108.
fair. Hey, you know, it wasn't until
I
2016.
I didn't want you to shortchange yourself.
You
So
don't gotta tell everybody about what you went through.
yeah, right.
Uh,
They all know. They all know. I'm
but
gonna have to go through it the way it goes. You
I
know.
mean, I was watching Cap and Hoodie on ESPN 1000. They're talking about how they're saying it's going to be like 5 to 8 years before they get to where they want to be, kind of deal for the Sox to get
Yeah,
rebuild and everything.
yeah, and realistically, we need a better GM.
Yeah.
We need a better owner. I mean,
Well, I mean, he needs to get rid of both teams, but he refuses.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the Bulls. He hasn't done much with them either. So, and here we are getting rid of people again. So that's the nature of the beast in Chicago. Hopefully, the Bears are breaking that. And
you,
like I
sh- you
said,
should you should have put
uh,
some money on the Sox losing because they're down 4-2 now. So.
yes, yeah, I would have been right. But once I did that, they'd win. So the upside, by the way, is, and we'll start talking about it more probably in October a little bit, is Blackhawks are young and they're going to be fun to watch. Maybe not this year, but the following year for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get into the hockey. The only time I
Yeah,
really got into hockey was during the playoffs.
yeah,
But I would just get pissed off at hockey because you would watch a game and you're like, oh, I can guess some games here, and then you would pick the under, and it would be like 2 minutes left in the quarter or period. What is it? Quarters or period? Is it period?
period. Yeah,
Period.
period. Yeah,
For the game to go under 6 points, and magically they scored 3 points in the last 2 minutes of the game. And I'm like, what is this bullshit? There's no way you haven't scored any goals for the first 3 periods or 2 periods, and now magically you score three.
yeah,
That's the
but
craziest thing.
usually you have like if you're down by a goal or two, you're going to have last 2 minutes. Usually you pull your goalie and puts another man on the ice for you there. So as
I
far
know.
as
It's just see,
pass
this is
buck
what I
around,
don't know about hockey.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. All right. Well, you got anything else?
No, no. I mean,
No.
my son gets to start flag football here on Monday. I'm excited about
Awesome.
that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Other than that, I mean, we moved to a new house, and the kid's going to start school here in a few weeks, and get back into that kind of mindset, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear you. Well, we've got two left in the house. Well, kind of three wherever Jake is, but Um, we, Kylie graduates in December. She's graduating early,
Oh, she is.
and
That's awesome.
yeah, and then yeah, very proud of her. It's awesome. She's actually doing her last dance season for football. She won't be able to do basketball or competition for the school because
She's
she's
graduating.
be done in December. Yeah,
Yeah.
but she still has her studio dance, so that'll be nice. And Adam's got football, basketball, so I'm ready for school year to start up, and
Yeah,
athletics are fun. So
that is fun.
absolutely, and you get to this will be the start off of
I'm
everything
just
for you,
starting
right?
here, you know. We
Yeah,
got T-ball, and now he finally gets to do some flag football, and I
yeah,
keep trying to talk him into doing some club wrestling, but it's just you know, he did it for a year, and then he's like, it's too hard, and it's like I don't want to push it. I don't want to push it too much, you know. We're
right.
just kind
Be
of
like,
little by
get
little
in there
here.
and do it. You do it now.
Yeah, he wants to
So
wrestle me all the time, but he can't do it against other people. It's crazy. It's crazy.
right, right, yeah, I hear you. All right. That started a little early. Yeah, it's all right. So, well, that's all that we got. We want to thank everybody for listening. We appreciate it. Please follow us on Spotify and on YouTube. Any comments, suggestions? We're happy to listen. Anything closing out here? That's right. All right, we're out. Peace.